I think today's game is probably a snapshot of our season, to be perfectly honest. We did with more than enough possession to win the game. We had certainly more than enough chances to win the game. We probably hit the woodwork, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times. We dominated large parts of the game, but we just don't put the game away. We seem to be, again, just defensively frail to give up easy opportunities that shouldn't really happen. And that's been a snapshot of our season up to now. Could have got ourselves out of jail, for want of a better word, obviously with having a penalty in the last minute. But again, that's been our season so far. Some of those games, the last game against Sky Blue, we scraped out in the last 4 or 5 minutes. The last game here against Washington, we did the same, a bit of individual brilliance by Marta. But we need to, and I wish I had an answer, but we need to be able to put games to bed when we dominate them so much, but we also need to stop giving up chances that are so easy for our opponents. And I'm at a loss to be able to know how to remedy both of those, to be honest. Yeah, it's extremely frustrating. I mean, it's extremely frustrating for everybody. But again, we knew Sky Blue, what they would come and do. They've come here with a point to prove for the players. The players have dug in all season and made life really difficult for teams. They should have won games earlier in this season, and we knew how difficult it was going to be. So it's been really frustrating. It's been our season, to be frank. Tonight is a snapshot of our season. It's a bit like Forrest Gump, a box of chocolates. You never quite know what you're going to get once you open it up. And I think tonight is just another snapshot of virtually every game we've played this season. Honestly, I think without fail, maybe a couple of games where we were soundly beaten here by North Carolina, and we beat Chicago soundly 5-2 in a game. Apart from those 2 games, every game we've had this season has been similar to tonight's game. And it's just, as I say, I would love to be able to say it's this, or it's this, or it's this. It's either individual lapses where we suddenly get caught out. It's either ball watching when we've got the ball and then suddenly we get caught out in counter-attacks, or we're dominating games and we're just not ruthless enough to put chances away. And we're still in the hunt. We're still, we win next week against Portland. We're in a really good position. But I don't think we should be in this position. We should be, 4, 5, 6 points better off than we are. I think generally she did pretty well. She was fairly tired after playing 3 full games for Australia. So all of that considered, I thought she had a pretty solid game in there. And again, if I look through all the players individually, I think everybody played reasonably solid. So it's just kind of, we just seem to have lapses that are costing us goals. So whether that's individual players or collectively defensively, not necessarily the back 4, but just as a team defensively, that's what's letting us down. But I thought, Alanna's comfortable playing in that position. She can dominate in the air. She's good on the ground. She's a good organiser, and she's comfortable there. So I'm quite happy with her playing back there. Well, I've said this before. I'd love 10 Dani Weatherholts out on the field, and that's what she's been this season. She's a person that's really dragged our team along in games quite often, whether that's been a decisive tackle, a decisive run, a decisive goal like it was tonight, or whatever. She's just been magnificent this year. And as I say, I need 10 players doing that. And if we had 10 players doing that, then I think we would be a little bit further up the table. You don't, and that's a frustrating thing. There are things that are out of everybody's control. But if I go back to the goal, we shouldn't have been in the position that we were in. We had enough defenders around the ball, we had enough players back there. we should have been organised better. So it wasn't like we were suddenly, all over the place. So the fact that Alanna fell, for me, is a little bit immaterial, because that was, that played to go to one side, but that wasn't how the goal came about. The goal came about by purely bad defending. Player misses a penalty, what can I say? I mean, we've got Alex and Marta, who you put your house on, scoring penalties on both occasions. They haven't, a couple of times they haven't scored this year. That happened. You can't do anything about that. That's football. Yeah. Well, I think because what we talked about when we came out was actually playing much more direct tonight. We wanted to play more direct because we knew Sky Blue would sit back. They keep the back four in place pretty much most of the game. They sit back deep, and they're quite happy with us playing in front. So I think the reason for the slow tempo was we didn't actually play long. So despite our best instructions, our team still decided to play lots of passing football. Problem with that is when teams sit in and are really disciplined, they go in a 4-4-2 like they did, it becomes hard to play at a high tempo because they've got lots of bodies behind the ball, and they get into good positions and they keep things tight, and it takes a little bit of time for the game then to start getting stretched and their players start to get a little bit tired. So it wasn't until that happened, and it wasn't until we started actually playing a little bit more direct that we then started stretching them. Then space opens up, then the tempo increases. And that's just players not seeing it. It's as simple as that. Obviously Marta wants the ball and wants it quickly, and it's about players getting on the same page and looking up. And we talked about that at half time. We said as soon as we get the ball in midfield and can turn with it, there should be a pass on. That pass should either be early in the second half, in behind to Rachel Hill or to Marta's feet. And then it's just about players actually doing that, getting there, looking and seeing where Marta is, and having a thought process before they actually get the ball to seeing where she might be. I mean, if I'm a player in the team and I'm playing with somebody like Marta, all I'm doing is actually getting the ball and passing it to her. And that's some of the stuff that we need to do a little bit quicker. And going back to Nigel's question, some of the things that keeps the tempo low in the first half, because we don't do those things early enough or quickly enough.